What's good, YouTube? Once again, welcome back to the channel. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Now, as y'all can see, there's another story time. Now, I know y'all think, alright, if you've been a fan, you seen the video when I talked when I walked out of high school, walked out of middle school, and I know y'all thinking, alright, what else have you done? Now, this is a true story. This is the time that I left daycare and then walked home. Now, like I said, I'm trying to make this nice and short. So, basically, at this time, I was probably like, I want to say I was like 9, maybe 10 years old. No, I wasn't 9. I want to say I was about 10, 11 years old. So, what happened was, I want to say it was about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. Now, like most daycares, they close around about 7 or 8 o'clock. So, around this time, we was eating dinner. Yeah, we was eating dinner. So, basically, we was like, all sitting at the little table. We had our cup of milk. I think we was eating like some nuggets and it was like nuggets and hash browns or something like that. So basically what happened was I forgot the dude's name, but it was this little kid, and his mother was like fine as hell. I'm not gonna capture it. She was bad as hell. So every time his mom would come, us other little kids, young men around the table, we would always look and we would joke like, damn, look at her. And she always came dressed up. Either she had on some tights or like a little skirt on or a fitted dress or like those little pajama pants on. Like every single time she always came dressed up, and she always had her hair did. Always had her like hair either in a bun, which you know me, like I love that. Like she always with a natural hair, either had her hair did or something. Like she always came dressed up like she just left the club or she just left an event. So we was looking, and this particular day, she had like a little tank top on with some shorts or whatever, and like she had a nice body, and like you could see all her God's gift. So we was looking, and then like I said, she was signing him out, nothing about it, and we was like over there laughing and giggling. And then my daycare teacher, she ended up calling me. She called me out. She was like, Jay, I see you talking about some. She basically got yelling at me because her and the other kid's mom that was talking, and as they were talking, we was back there laughing or whatever. And we was looking at them, looking at her, the dude's mom, and the teacher looked back. She started laughing, but she looked at when she turned around. She looked directly at me, like her eyes came straight towards me, even though everybody else was at the table laughing, looking over there too. She looked at me. So what happened was she was basically like, oh, them kids over there, especially that one right there, he over there talking about something, he ain't got no manners. He over there looking at that somebody's mama you looking at, y'all over there talking about that boy mama looking at her, this and that. She just kept on saying like, y'all disrespectful, this, especially you. She was just telling me like, especially such and such, that one right there, he's so disrespectful. Coming here, folks be coming in, folks mama be coming in, he be talking about their mama, looking at their mama all side kind of ways. I'm like, all these people at this table and you call out me. Now mind you, I wasn't a fan favorite at that daycare. Like I said, I was known in the daycare because I always got suspended. I always caused trouble a lot. Like I said, not really trouble, just I was the type of person I had to get the last word, whether you was another one of my peers, somebody in the class, or you was a teacher. So if you told me, alright, go in timeout or go sit down, I'd be like, I'm about to go sit down. Or if somebody said, like, if the teacher be like, alright, y'all be quiet, that's it. I'm like, idiot, that's it, that's a bet. Like, I would just say small little merch like that, like little stuff, nothing crazy, I just had to get the last word. But with that being said, so she was basically just pointing me out like, that one right there, every time you walk in, he always looking at you. He always say something slick, say he'll do this and he'll do that to you. I'm like, what? So basically, she going into this whole range talking about how I need to apologize to this woman and how do I be looking at her? It was something crazy like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, no, I'm like, if you gonna make me apologize, you need to make everybody at this table apologize or something. Like, you can't call me out at all these people at this table. Mind you, it's a big ass freaking table. It's like 10 of us at this table. It wasn't like a 3-4 of us. It was like 10 people at this table. So to say that you turn around and catch me laughing and that I'm the only one, like, I guess because I was in the middle of the table, so it made me look like I was just the one making everybody laugh or whatever. But literally, it was all of us. So she just going this whole rant saying, "All right, you need to apologize for being disrespectful to that boy mama." Mind the dude that she was talking about, he was like, I was like 10. The little boy was like probably like 3 years old, so he didn't even know what was going on. So I'm like, man, I was like, I'm not, I was like, I ain't saying nothing. Like, hey, tell me something. You gonna call me out in front of all everybody at this table? I'm not saying nothing. So she was like, all right, well, you not, she said something like, you can't leave the table until you apologize. I'm like, I guess we're gonna be seeing her all goddamn night. So basically, after a while, we got through eating, whatever. Like I said, the dude, mom left, they left. Now everybody around the table, they got through eating their food, they threw their food away, and they went to go sit back down and play or chill or whatever, or just whatever. They went on whatever, they played cards, whatever. I'm still sitting at the table, just sitting there, but like I said, she didn't let me throw my food away, throw my plate away. She didn't let me throw away my cup or anything. So I just sitting there. Now at this point, probably about 30 minutes went by. So now at this point in time, like folks started to leave. Like I said, me and my brother were usually always the last one. So usually we didn't like leave around to like 10, 15 minutes before they closed, like every single night. So after a while, I've been sitting at this table for like 40 minutes. So then she started like as more people start leaving, that's when like usually that's when the bad kids usually be the ones that always stay late. She just started calling people. Then she was like, I'm going to tell your mama this, talking about something. I'm going to make sure I tell your mama and this and that. Now, you know, as a black kid, you know what that means. You mean you going to try to get me in trouble, trying to get me a ass whooping. I'm like, bro, I'm not going for that. Like, you ain't about to tell my mama. And then she was like, then she was on the phone with the owner of the daycare. She was telling him, talking about something. Yeah, this Jaden, so and so mama came in. He was in there making jokes on her, talking about what he'd do to her. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to sit here and make you lie. So literally, I'm like, why you lying? Like, why you telling that lie? Like, why you on the phone telling these lies? Like, you trying to get me in trouble? You trying to get me suspended again? Cause mind you, if I get suspended, that means who gonna pick me up from school? Cause at that time, the daycare picks you up from school. You go to daycare. They pick you up from your school. You go back to daycare. And my mom be at work, so it's not like I could ride the bus home. Cause at the time I'm only like probably 9, 10 years old, so I'm like 4th grade. Like I said, my mom did let me stay home at that time, like but only like on the weekends when she was off, and like she would be only gone for like 3-4 hours or something, like 2-3 hours. So at that time, me being suspended ain't gonna benefit. Like I really can't, because my mom ain't about to let me stay home for 5-6 hours until she come back home at 8:30, 9 o'clock. So she's sitting there telling these lies, like, yeah, she's on the phone with the owner telling him, yeah, he was in here making marks, talking about he gonna do this to her in the bed, and I'm like, all right, now you just going crazy. So I get up, I get my plate, I get my cup, I throw it away. So with that being said, now she fussing, she getting talking about something, you gonna sit back down, this and that, talking about something, I'm gonna make sure I tell your mama how disrespectful you been and this and that. And at that point, I had, like, I'm one of those type of people, I had anger, like crazy anger issues. So I would just be real quiet, and I would just, like, I wouldn't say much, I would just go off of action. So me not being, like, me at that point, I didn't say nothing. I literally just grabbed my backpack, and I started heading towards the door. So as the deco was set up, her room was, like, the very, like, first room, like, in the building. So best you go out of this room, you make a right, and then it's probably the hallway's about 3-4 yards long. Then you make a left, and that's the front door, that's the exit, and that's where you enter and leave it. It was one way in, one way out. So as I'm going out of her room, making up the hallway, she takes off like not fast, like not running, not sprinting, but like in a speed walk. So I hear her walking up behind me. I take off, push the door open. She try to snatch me, and she grabs my backpack, and I just so happened to, like, at the same time she was reaching for it, I kind of swung my back to where she missed it. So now we in the parking lot, me and the daycare teacher, we are in the parking lot, and she like, come back inside, this and this. And I think, and at the same time, I think she was on the phone with the owner. And at that point, I'm like, man, there's no way I'm going back. And then this woman literally just tried to grab me and snatch me, jack me back up by my backpack. I said, there's no way I'm going back here. So I ended up walking home. And at that time, I did have a little phone. So probably about 15 minutes later, my mom's calling me. Like I said, I'm heated. I'm pissed off. Like I said, I gotta walk. Like my only thing is I'm walking home, which was about from the daycare to my house at the time we were staying at. It was probably about a 15-20 minute drive. So walking wise, I was probably about 45 to an hour away. So what happened was I basically ended up walking home. But the thing is, before you cross, got to where my neighborhood was, you had to go basically past these two bridges. And when I mean bridge, I mean basically it's over the bridge. There's nothing under there but the interstate. And I literally just couldn't do it. I was so scared. And mind you, at this time it's probably 7:30 at night. So basically, I ended up getting to the bridge. I looked over. I see all these 18-wheelers coming off the interstate. I see all these lights, traffic. And at 19 years old, I was going for it. So basically, I ended up just walking back to this parking lot. I sat in this parking lot for I don't know, about 20-30 minutes. Finally, my uncle came and got me, picked me up, took me home. And basically, it just went up from there. And then I think I ended up got suspended. I don't think I got an ass whooping that time. Cause legit, my brother ended up saving my ass literally on that one probably. I think my brother and Tim nah, it was there were 10 of us at the table, and she literally just single-handedly called me out, saying I was the one that was making the jokes and saying what I would do, and I was basically the ringleader of everything, which wasn't true at all because I wasn't even the oldest at the table. Literally 3-4 people that was 3-4 years older than me at that table, or 2-3 years older than me. So to say I was the ringleader, which was crazy, but yeah, that's the time I walked out of daycare and tried to make it home. Got too scared of the bridge. Like I said, I saw the 18-wheelers, all the headlights, all the traffic. At 7 o'clock at night, at 19 years old, I just couldn't walk over that bridge. But yeah, that's the story time. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and I'll make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see y'all again.